All right, so just hopefully it's making sense, right? So I had so even in this case right here with the EU, all right, always understanding the 4-hour time frame, right? So that's what's going to keep me safe. So this is why, and look at where my orders are. So remember, it closed, this bar closed indecision, okay? So indecision, so this is my 4-hour range that I'm leaning against. And then I have my 50 EMA creeping up right here, all right? So that's where I placed the T1E extension orders on EU, okay, right down there. Put some targets in this. Okay, and again, always looking at it from the market's perspective. Okay, remember you said you think you missed it, but I mentioned, we probably didn't miss that much because looking at my read on the 60, these in understanding that we did touch a kind of that daily exhaustion there, and these Bollinger Bands were creeping down. If volatility was going to increase, like it potentially could right here, these bands would be expanding, right? But it was still coming in, compressing, and then I have my T1E signal right here, all right, where I place my orders, and also the 4-hour. Okay, so if I have a 4-hour strategy, I go to the 4-hour time frame, it maps out with a T1E, which is the best quote-unquote signal for this whole strategy to begin with. Okay, and T1E is extension down. All right, so you need it to kind of bleed down for you to get in. And if you second guess that entry order there, then again, price reverse, and it would potentially leave without you. All right, but that's why you have to just kind of like trust that process. And this was pre-planned anyways. And the Bollinger Band said, hey, you know what? We're probably going to get a deeper retracement. So if you're going to get on board with this market, have orders on extensions lower via 4-hour and that 60-minute T1E setup. Okay. And then, so that's exactly what you just have to do. So you have to buy to enter and then sell to exit on the rally extension out. Now we're touching this again, but notice that we came back in to get more order flow for the potential continuation. All right, you should be able to identify that potentially via the multiple time frame analysis, and and if you're able to execute that with confidence, then here you are on the other side, 20 pip trade, and like I said, I even wanted more, right? I even wanted more. So if this is going to work, and the fact that these two orders really didn't get filled kind of tells me something because there's competition to buy down there, right? All right, so we potentially recoiled enough, consolidated enough, because this, remember I said in the morning that, this is going to be just probably my new 4-hour range here. My new 4-hour range here. Okay, the signal has me long anyways, T1E, so edge, I'm already looking for, edgewise, I'm already looking for long. All right, and that's on small time frames. On the higher time frames, it already is telling me that, and it has been the case, we've just been sideways basing in EU. And all we're trying to do is figure out, fill this doji wick here. Okay, so question on that UJ. So the UJ, so yeah, the only way that you're catching this long would be T1E. So yeah, you have the 50 EMA price point, literally 109.20, and then you're probably going to be looking at this daily low right here. Call it what is that? 109. Let's just do 10 for simple math. Now, before I even go into this trade or this area, this isn't T1C, this is T1E. So yeah, you want is, so since I'm short because I got on board that T4, or I have some targets in the EU that potentially, let me just take a little out of EU. All right, so I just sold some more profit for more profits on EU. I have an order out, and then if we do get a breakout while I'm going over this, I want to make sure that I have some orders out here. Okay, so you actually do have a, let's check Bollinger Band on this. Is it outside the, oh, so there's a Bollinger Band at 109.04 near the even number. So you may potentially want to let that extend a little bit more. Don't rush, all right? Don't rush, all right? So to your point earlier, Mark, you saw that first, so it's good learning tool today, all right? So yeah, you have 104 Bollinger here, and you have 109 daily, all right? Don't rush that, let that come into you. It's extension entry anyways. Extension entry anyways. All right, and there could be some stops here. So Bollinger Band, what color should I represent Bollinger Band? I don't know. Come on, 60-minute, whatever. I'll just put 60-minute color right there, right? So that's extended on Bollinger Band. You're near WMD. So you almost have like a T3B reversal along with that T1E, all right? But you have to understand, right, what I was going at on the higher time frame, right before I went to the Euro, you have to notice the bar that's being painted, all right, on the higher time frame as well. All right, realize that even though the yen is moving and all that, right, we're still inside of this bar's structure. This is very important, all right? So we did come from daily exhaustion, and we are putting in a daily doji wick. So now and we're kind of coming mid-range. Remember I said the 50 EMA right now is going to be less reliable as the market's ranging, all right? Not saying that there's not going to be a bounce there, okay? But in the event that we get below 109, this bar is going to be a fat wick with a red bar. Okay, so you have to understand that you'll be fighting that. All right, look at the euro breaking out. All right, euro's breaking out from that T1E 4-hour trend long. All right, now imagine if I kept chasing, right, and I didn't buy down here and actually, right, never did that. All right, always following that process. Back to the UJ. You have to realize, so since I shorted at that, all right, got on board with the T4 there, so you have to be careful with this daily bar, because if we get below 09, all right, it's going to really paint this as a nasty wick bar. In the context of the higher time frames, all right, we're just still sideways basing off of last Friday's mother bar. Okay, so the extremes on this daily exhaustion were up here. Now we're kind of trading in the middle a little bit, all right? That's why when you break that down to 4-hour, like I said there, coming from that daily exhaustion T3B reversal, now we're touching T1E. Based on higher time frames, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting you don't want to get trapped. So you're probably going to want to get lower on that extension process. All right, but you have to keep in mind, that's the thing. The bar, and I say this very humbly, right, in all this stuff, I say all this stuff, but I say it for a reason, but, you know, and I'll speak in my own context here. Like, let's just say, okay, so I missed that short there, late to the room, all right, and then I did not catch the T1E bounce here, all right, because that was the next scenario, the next, yeah, see, now we have the euro breaking out, right? But notice I'm not chasing, I'm selling out with the breakout on the extension because I compressed entered. All right, so sorry, just taking profit on that euro, and I have a take profit down here. So I mean, it's easy to say now because you know so I'm still buying on the extension lower. All right, now I'm saying if I was flat this and looking for a T1E as well, because we're extended on the T4. All right, because I can't chase this price now because the time and price of entry was up here. We had that chance, it compressed for us, right? And this is why I executed that, okay? But now we are extending. So now if you're going for the T1E, you're gonna have to chip reversal and make sure you're extended. So I'm still buying, but I'm buying to cover instead of buying to enter, right? Where I had that compression up here. That's why, you know, when you continue to do this and you just get on board and you do it, you'll make your day a lot easier if everything is working out, the edge is working out, but you should be able to see your edge and which side you want to be on. You won't have to keep doing the process. So here I got, even though I missed this trade here, I executed on my next leg, and then now, with job done, I'm getting my trade, and now I don't have to worry about where this may bottom out and chip off a 10 pip reversal. Okay, I'm up 20 pips with current T4 trend. Okay, and this is still battling, Mark. All right, so that's the thing. There's been days where I'd still be flat. Let's just say that I didn't get this entry. I'd probably be with you, and the only thing that you could do is buy extensions. All right, and again, if you're flat, you're going to have to buy extensions for counter trend scalp and take profit in MA. All right, if I'm short, which I am here, all right, I need to buy, but I'm buying to cover from profitability. All right, because not you, but anybody who's trading the strategy had a chance to buy the extension on T1E here for this bounce. That worked. T4 engagement, that worked. Now it's T1E again. So if T4 you're taking profit, but T1E you're entering. Okay. But now since this has happened, right? Because the market's always moving and always painting you a picture and an edge via extension or compression, or AKA a breakout or pullback for a breakout. Okay, you just have to understand the process, right? Via the strategy. But while this is all happening, okay, we're getting daily bars painted, we're getting 4-hour bars painted, etc. You have to realize that if you're chipping off that T1E, okay, you're going against because of what happened, the cycle. Because this is the breakout long. We touched that daily high, 109.73, and also exhausting on the Bollinger, not as much as we would like, but it still was there with that 3 pip range, okay? You have to realize that potentially anything below 09, you have to just be a little bit careful, but you may have to chip off an extension order for that. All right, but I'd be a little bit safer with this daily range on the UJ, like I've been mentioning, all right? So right now we have this level here, and we have a little bit of extension on Bollinger, and we have a daily level. So you're gonna, you may miss. You have to be probably a little bit safe here, and letting that extend just a little bit because of that. This is all a wick, all right? And it's, what time is it? 10:45 EST, New York time, right? So this is what a wick looks like. So we have to just be careful. This is only probably going to be a T1E bounce, potentially. Because if this holds any type of levels in here, this is still going to be a nice wick on daily. After touching daily mother bar range. All right, but I'll be honest, that T1E bounce is going to be tough. Because we're probably taking it off a little bit off right now. 5 pips. All right, 20, and again, you may think that it may not get down there, right? But remember, this was a 60-minute doji, and you wouldn't, some people wouldn't think that it would get down there. Next thing you know, 4-hour re-engagement, T4, slap right back down. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I have these moving averages on all my charts, because I'm never going to be good enough, and I've been in this business for quite some time, right? I'm never going to be good enough to try to always catch this. I know, so I have to do it objectively all the time. All right, because the hard part's already done. All right, the hard part, decision making, is already done, at least for this. And now you only can T1 extend entry or take profit on T4, and then if you're going for a T4 engagement, you can sell the rally into this moving average. But if you did T1 extend on these below this math, as close as possible to this 50 EMA for the T1E bounce, you're getting a little bit of a bounce right now, testing the first moving average. All right, but that's just going to be chipping off counter momentum. All right, but that fight is going on, T4 and T1E. All right, but I'm a little bit more safer because I engaged on the T4. So therefore, I'm not worrying about the T1E. But I will say, if the T1E extensions work, it's giving back some profits on the T4, because there's always going to be a fight, one trend versus the other. Which side are you on? Well, I'm short, taking profit down. That's why you have to scale out on the extensions. That's why you're taking profits. Your entries on T1E has to be your exits on the T4. All right. Yes, I do want this to continue. Right. I took a little here just in case that we reversed up here. I don't know. Right. But I took profit. But what happened was we got continuation. So I took profit. All right. What happened was we got continuation. Well, it looks like I didn't get that profit. But now we're retesting some moving averages. And look at this. We did come closer to the T1E. So depending on where you entered, if you were flat, all right, because by rule, extension under math is everything below this. Right? By rule, extension is everything below this first moving average right here. So you need to be at least somewhere buying the red candles into here. All right? And let's just say that I had a buy order here. All right? There was some type of demand in here because I didn't even get filled. All right? So I'm buying, but I'm buying new cover because I'm short. But if you're buying to enter T1E, getting somewhat of a bounce right now potentially. All right? The counter trend move is always going to be tougher. It's always going to be tougher or harder or more difficult, whatever, right? This is what I'm saying, always forward bar, keep you good. The whole strategy is based on 4 hour, right? So at the time and price where I took this entry, if I were to just take a quick picture of this real quick, because like I know it's repetitive, but as these markets are moving, it's it could be confusing, but when you really just like look back, it's not that bad. It's just either a continuation trade or a reversal trade. In this case, yeah. So, and that's the thing. So what happened, Mark, on that UJ? You just the best entries are always going to test your discipline and your confidence and your execution. All right. So what happened was, I don't know exactly what was going on through your mind. All right. And believe me, I used to do this wrong all the time. I'm not saying you actually identified every move properly, right? You for the record, Mark, you identified a T1E bounce here, and you got that correct. Okay. And that worked. The edge worked because if it's extended, it should compress. Okay. That worked. All right. Look, you don't have to answer. I'm not sure if you executed. It's okay. All right. You're right. Right. That worked. T1E bounce took you to T4. T4. All right. And what happened was it printed a 60-minute pin bar the other way, but it didn't do no damage on the 4 hour at all. Okay. And it came right up to where our predefined trend T4 engagement is. All right. So this was hard to do because you were going against a 60-minute pin bar off of a T1E bounce. Well, what's stronger though? 4 hour or a 60-minute? 60-minute. I mean, I'm sorry, 4 hour. 4 hour. I just got my own question wrong, right? 4 hour. Well, this moving average specifically says, look, I know you just got a 60-minute pin bar, right? And it extended, which was great, off your T1E, but we're T4 engaging. So if you're going to go long, you don't have your signal to go long. It's actually a short sell, all right? And if you're long, take some profit because look, right? Continuation. And if you're flat, enter. All right, and that's what I did. I was flat and I entered, missing the T1E. But you just had your strategy's edge, or this strategy's edge, was it came up to your last line of defense, which, by the way, is your lowest risk, highest reward trade, because it's close as possible to where you're going to be wrong on stop out. All right, so your best trades are always going to be the scariest. All right, but that's why you. So notice when this happened, and I will be repetitive a little bit, as I'm recording this for the tube as well. All right, I went up to the 4 hour, so I had a 60-minute battle or a temporary retracement. All right, but battling the 4 hour trend, and I had the time and price, okay, to execute on the 4 hour. I have to go with my 4 hour trend, and that's what I did. So even though this was a 60-minute doji, 4 hour won. Okay, and I didn't know that as it was happening, but at this time and price, I had one job to do, and the only thing that I had to focus on at this time and price was do my pre-planned analysis already and execute my strategy for the T4 engagement and let the market work out. And I will say it could have been wrong, but I would have been wrong, and I would have been wrong from here to here, and then potentially we would have got the next signal, T1C. Like, because now you're looking at it, now the moving averages are laughing at you, right? I always talk about Gavin, who taught me this. He'd be, if I rushed this next signal, he'd be looking at me 2 desks over, shaking his head, like, "Look, man, you thought too much of a reversal and it didn't happen, and you thought about a reversal, the market will sucker you in to fake you out if you're if you're nervous of a reversal, all right? If you're starting to get nervous, it's probably because the market is at a level where something next may happen, and you have to go back to your rule book. You have to go back to your rule book, all right? Because this looks like it was in a crosshair, all right? And then guess what? Bam, nope. Wiping out weak traders, all right? A lot of day traders, day trading is hard because of this, because fake outs happen a lot more frequent than, say, swing, okay? But I had one decision to make, and that was either low risk, high reward for T4 entry, because I missed the T1E. All right, if I bought here, I'd be selling out here, and I'd be saying, well, luckily I bought the extension and sold the compression or pullback because the T4 actually won up. If this was to go long right here, we'd have a basing, and then the moving averages would cross, and then be saying, well, that gave us a little bit of a heads up because the T1E happened and worked out. The next leg after a T1E is T1C. Never happened. All right? And the T4 worked out. All right? Because notice when you go to T4, it comes right, cycles back up to T1E. So now it's back to T1E. The T4 works. So now the T4 worked targeting the 50 EMA. Targeting the 50 EMA. Do I have targets at the 50 EMA? Let's see. Did I buy the cover at the 50 EMA? Yeah, I bought at 29. On the extension below the 50 EMA. And check it out. If this was a buy to enter at 29, I'd be up. I could have I probably could be able to take 10 pips out right now. So the long and short game, you could do it if you're listening to your strategy and not the little voices in your head, right? Because I'll be honest, when you pointed out that 60-minute doji, what did I do? I was like, oh yeah, you're right, absolutely. Went to the 4 hour, identified my stop loss, and said, okay, well I'm still getting short because it's a T4. And I don't know, you could have been right, I could have been wrong, I could have been right, you could have been wrong. The irony is, you even identified this, caught this, we're both right and we're both wrong in here, which is okay, all right? If you're entering and exiting properly via day trading and this model, you'll be okay. So good job, Mark, I guess, right? Okay, Euro USD real quick. Yeah, Steve laughing at that. I got my own question wrong. I just answered too quick. I get excited with this stuff. I'd rather be wrong on my question with a flip, but not wrong on my trades, right? Boom. This was a nasty wick down here. All it did was come into my T1E extension orders. Now it's engulfing the prior 1, 2, 3 hours. Right? Not from, and notice the bands, now they're expanding. All right, now people are trying to buy and all that. I'm selling on the extension. All right, and guess what? Guess what? I'll still buy, but I'll buy a pullback and sell a rally. All right, because guess what? I already bought the pullback. I've been in that, right? I was already pre-planned, bought the pullback. Humbly speaking, of course, but I'm just saying, There it is. I didn't know that was going to happen, right? I didn't know. And now I'm just cool, right? I'm just letting this happen. 80 would be a nice price, and we'll just continue to take profit on this. Now 4-hour bar, next 4-hour bar high. All right, so this 4-hour bar spinning, well, that spinning top, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care about the name. I don't care. I know. I care about the entry and exit process. Well, we're going to be potentially hitting this 2474 4-hour, right? So let me just make sure that I have targets and on that level. That T1E bounce is still working out, Mark. It was like, and look at, I'm selling again at the same prices that I was selling on this T2. Same thing, consistency and strategy. Consistency and strategy. All right, so let's see what we can get up there. And again, 4-hour, just took that pullback in there. I wanted even more pricing, all right? But again, how can you argue with having it go from boom to boom? Like that ticket never went against me really, all right? Done in T1E extension. And the edge is working out. The edge is working out perfectly. And in the UJ, it's actually going long-ish. So remember this morning how I said, I missed the T3 bounce, wasn't the time in the room. T4 worked out. But notice how, I stayed patient the whole time, okay? Stayed patient the whole time and actually got my entries. And even the battle for the T4 and the T1E are still working out here. So even if I missed this T4, Mark, I'd probably be with you on that T1E extension. So it looks like today, so it looks like, Mark, hesitate. So just, my man, I get you. Just calm down a little bit. It's all right, right? It happens to me too, and believe me, I put my fist through many screens in my life, all right? So I get it. It's all good, man. You're seeing the market nicely. It's maybe just not your day with entries, all right? Maybe that the doji on the 60 kind of messed you up a little. And that's the thing. Sometimes psychology, it's a domino effect. Okay, it's like a domino effect. You missed your first trade. It did what you needed it to do. Now it's coming up to a certain level. You can go for that counter trend trade, and then you're like, I don't like that counter trend trade. You didn't take that, and then the counter trend trade worked out, and then you're just like, oh my God, I'm in front of my screens, and two signals went, and I'm not on board. You start to go crazy in your head. And then you start to break a rule, and then you're just like, right? Potentially. That used to be me, all right? But you know what? The markets will be here tomorrow. The key thing is, because Mark, you've been right all day, my man, all right? You've been right all day. Not because you're thinking about things, because you're identifying it via the tailored edge, right? No, I hear you. Yeah, but you have to take satisfaction. Okay, there's always a positive and a negative. Yeah, the negative is you didn't get no orders filled. All right, but you didn't blow your account. All right, hopefully. Don't let the frustrations of trading make you do the wrong things and then leg in and do something that you would completely not do even on a normal day, on a good day. All right, human psychology will kill you. All right, but take solitude in this, the fact that you identified this bounce and you were right, okay? You identified that level here, all right? And you were also right as well. And if you didn't get any entries filled, all right? I just hit that target price on 4-hour target on EU, 24.73, okay? And if not, I took the trade for you in a way and just learn from it. And remember we talked about the psychology, the time and price right here, all right? And I know you're probably looking at this T1E bounce as well, saying, and I just went over the sequence of events of T1E worked, T4 worked, T1E worked, potentially another T4, and you may not want to take that. I get that, not sure, but just it's okay. There's another day, and just know that you are growing as a trader because you identified this before me, all right? And then it took me up to here, and I had my order waiting, and I engaged on the T4. And then you also identified that T1E lower down here. So you're seeing the market, again, you didn't get some fills, you know, that happens sometimes, and that's more of a professional problem than it is a retail problem. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. So the EU trade's working out very well, and again, I don't want to talk about the UJ as much. You know, Mark is feeling it a little bit, but that's normal. It's okay. But let me take a quick break, and I'll be right back.